Hello, today for review I've got a recently updated version of entry-level portable audio player made by Korean company thebit, model Opus number 1S. It is, as you can easily see, upgraded version of their Opus number 1, which gathered pretty lot of attention and was a really nice player. But they really improved it very much and offered really interesting sound and nice build and so on and so forth. But I will cover this in next parts of this review. Actually, this company is one of the strongest competitors on the portable audio market, and I think it's the only company that can be a rival for the Aston Kern, because they can create really stylish players with nice sound and polished firmware. And Opus number 1S isn't an exception. It's priced about $400, actually not about $400, and let's take a closer look. Cover is pretty nice, outer wrap has this nice grey color. On the back panel listed technical specifications, so 4-inch IPS TFT touch display with resolution 800 by 480 pixels, ARM Cortex A1 quad-core processor, almost all formats are supported, USB micro B input, 2 outputs, regular and balanced, 4000 mAh lithium polymer battery, playtime approximately 11 hours, and actually in my measurements I've got 10 hours 55 minutes, so really close to 11 hours. And in advance I can say that this player offers really greatly implemented sleep mode, so you can just pause your music and turn the screen off. After about a minute it will go to deep sleep and you cannot turn it off because its sleep is really efficient. Customized Android 5.1.1 used here as a firmware, but actually it's not a big difference because there is no Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and you won't see any parts of Android, so it's not really important. Its weight is 190 grams, not the heaviest, not the lightest. It's pretty big, but still pocketable. Upgraded version used a new Cirrus Logic 43198 digital tonal converters. It's updated version of famous DAC chip by Cirrus Logic, released last year. Support 24-bit 192 kHz, really good figures in signal to noise ratio, crosstalk, total harmonic distortion, low output impedance, and they really improved the output level. So unbalanced output offers up to 3.1 volts RMS and balanced 3.4 volt RMS, so it became more powerful and it's really enough for almost all headphones. Additional volt added to the specifications of previous version. So inside box you see this nice red color. So player itself. Underneath you will have this envelope with manual warranty card and extra screen protector. One is already applied from factory, and USB cable. So nothing super fancy, but all that you will need. Case is really nice. As usual, it's probably made by Dignis, I think. Not sure, but it's high probably real leather. So it's sold separately, but there are good bundles with player and case together. Pay your closer attention at one. So as usual, case is made perfectly. Player fits here really nicely, and it's I've accidentally turned it on. Let me turn it off. So looks really stylish and protect your DAB from all sides. Player is built of high quality polycarbonate plastic. It's really durable, really scratch proof and really nice. Of course, some prefer metal dubs, but I like this material. It's really nice by touch, and as you can probably see if you've seen the first version, they really changed the color. Opus 1S available in this blue and some kind of wine dark red color, so you can select one of the options, and I really like them both. Back panel has this interesting texture. I'm not sure that video will show it. Nice texture, here it is. So, and front and back panels are covered with tempered glass, but they gather fingerprints, but I can't say that it's a big issue. So it's all actually not the glass itself, it's protective screens applied from the factory. But anyway, they are pretty easy to wipe, so it's not an issue, I think. So there are a lot of hardware control buttons. Here is playback control, 3 buttons. On the bottom there is USB out and double micro SD slots that you can use simultaneously. You can install as many memories you want. So let's cover it back. Volume control buttons, on-off button, which is also used for screen lock, and regular and balanced headphone output. It's one of the few dubs that have a really properly implemented balanced line out. The bit sold separate cable, so you can use it to connect to your balanced amplifier, for example. But most of control is done via the screen. Screen is pretty nice with good viewing angles. It's touch sensitive, really great response to touch, really nice viewing angles, really good resolution and color tabs, and enough of brightness even under the bright sun. So I have really bright lights in the studio, but it's still visible. And actually, let's compare sizes. So FIO-X5 second generation as commonly used player. So as you can see, it's a bit wider, taller and thicker, but it's still pretty pocketable and it fits in hands nicely. It's perfectly balanced and really good in terms of control. So build quality and design is pretty nice. In terms of firmware, Opus are really nice dubs too. They are using Android, but it's completely covered with their launcher, so there is no any traces of Android actually. After you boot up, you will see this now playing screen. So big cover display, all information, navigation buttons, so everything is present here. To access media libraries, there is button here, so you can browse the media library. You can see all the songs all together, albums, artists, genres, folders, favorites, and playlists. Or you can navigate back here. As usual, there is a drop down with quick options: line out, equalizer, sleep timer, repeat, and shuffle. And also you can control brightness. Additional options are hidden here under this button with traditional icon. So screen is brightness and power off time. Audio, you can turn on and off equalizer and gapless playback if you need it. Output, you can turn on and off line out, balance, and 3 levels of gain. So you can select proper gain for your headphones. Timers, it's sleep timer if you need it, and USB mode. So it's USB dock function, you should activate it here and then connect device if you need to use it with USB digital to analog converter. And connection mode MTP or charging. So to access it you will need Android file transfer utility if you're using Mac. PC, C, MTP devices natively if I remember right. Languages and input, date, time, storage, initialize, firmware update, and information. So everything that you will need. So firmware is fast, It's really stable, zero issues with different formats, with other stuff like that. So actually firmware is simple, efficient, and I really like it because it's easy to understand, easy to control. So of course unfortunately there is no Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, no wireless connectivity, so no streaming media, but actually it's just offline dub, but it does this offline play perfectly. Actually forgot to mention, here is additional information and lyrics display if it's necessary. Here you can add it to playlist and to favorites too. And of course about the sound. First revision of Opus number 1 was pretty interesting in terms of sound. The beat spends a lot of time tuning their dubs. They involve in this process some professional sound engineers and other how to say it, forget the right word, those who work with mixing, with audio, with sound and so on. So they really create efficient and interesting sound. First revision of this dub offered interesting representation. It was really natural without any added coloration and with added width to imaginary stage, with this really fun effect with expanded sound stage. Sometimes it was really not very natural, but really engaging. But for Opus number 1S they created really interesting representation. Its sound has more body, more weight, and really nice extended treble. So in combination it gives you really efficient sound with this wow effect, with all these nuances that we usually like in terms of sound. It's a bit colored, but it's colored in proper way to give you more emotions and more enjoyment. So low frequencies here are weighty, but they are really dynamic. They are fast, with good punch, with nice depth, and with really good control of deep layers of lower frequencies. Of course, it's not the bass heaviest dub. Their Opus number 3 has more lows, for example, but lows here are pretty balanced. So not too much, not too few, really good amount of in terms of quantity and in terms of quality too. Really great texturing and nice layering, but really dynamic. Sometimes it's even more puncher that it should be in real life, but usually it's not a bad thing to have. Mids are emotional and also portrayed with good macro dynamics. So when you hear some blows, strikes, punches and so on, they are all present. Player is really good in portraying emotions, really nice. I like it. With some aggressive music it's really fun. With some good recorded vocals and jazz music it's also pretty good. So everything is nice. It's not a dub for those who like absolutely uncolored and natural representation, because it adds some emotions, it adds some weight to the music, but it's really fun representation and really fun coloration. It doesn't expand soundstage like first revision of Opus number 1 does, but its imaginary stage is above average both in width and in depth. It's not the biggest, because for example Opus number 2, their flagship, offers bigger soundstage, but here staging is also really nice. Depth is a bit less than width, so it's a bit more wider than deeper, but with nice positioning, with nice layer separation, so it's really good in these terms. And treble here, they have a bit simplified attacks and decays, but the treble has good extension, really good, and really nice resolution, and it's airy and has good layering, so it's really compensate lower frequencies, give you this balanced sound signature, really effective, because all these overtones, all these tiny nuances of the instruments you will definitely hear. So if you listen to some properly recorded good instruments, I don't know, fortepiano for example, or cello, you definitely hear all these tiny nuances of this rich rich, timbre-rich instruments. Of course, it's probably not the best player in the world. There are some disadvantages. This coloration isn't always nice. Some songs sound a bit unnatural, but for this price, for the $400, I think it's the best performer in terms of sound that I've heard for now. Maybe some other dubs will appear soon with better sound, but for now, in $400 price range, it's the most engaging, most emotional, most fun to listen dub. So there are a lot of other good players. Fio's X5 III, for example. It's nice, but it's smoother on mids, so its mids has less microdynamic, and you just losing this sense of effective sounding and this sense of presence, this sense of body to all the sounds, to vocal, to the music. Kane N5 III or Kane, it's also nice, but it's totally natural for those who like to hear all the tiny nuances, tiny details, and Kane is really picky to the quality of recordings. Lotu PAV 5000 Mark II is also nice, and it offers pretty similar sound representation. It's pretty reminds this Opus #1S, but Opus does another step forward in terms of emotions, in terms of portraying weight of instruments and so on and so forth. So really good dub. I miss a little bit wireless features here, but I think it's better to have a good offline dub than have average player with online. So in terms of sound quality, it's one of the best models. It has enough power to drive almost any headphones. Maybe some power-hungry planars is a no-go option for it, but almost all full-size headphones is good load, and sensitive IEMs is really nice. It has a low level of background noise. It's almost inaudible with with IEMs with normal sensitivity. So it's a really nice dub that I can highly recommend you to pay closer attention if you look for some model with rich and engaging sound. Thank you for attention.